What is up, YouTube land? We're gonna finish off Miles Tails per hour, and then also maybe there's a secret thing at the end. Yeah, maybe with a song by Crush 40, huh? What's that, Tails? Man, this game reminds me of every movie ever, just with the
just audio mixing.
The audio mixing. What is the deal with that? I was reading some threads on movie and TV related sites, and it's not just me. Other people are like, why are movies in particular so badly mixed?
It must just be for the theater experience. They just think that big bombastic music equates to a more engaging experience. It's probably something super corporate soulless like that.
And then they don't change it at all for the home release or the streaming release.
Yeah, because that would involve effort.
Yeah, right. Anyway, YouTube land, how are you doing today? We are good. We just finished Rock Band AC/DC. Going to finish up Sonic Adventure. And I'm going to be continuing Saga Frontier from many years ago.
Well, actually, because of how we're uploading this, you've already seen Saga Frontier.
Oh, sorry. You've already seen Saga Frontier, and then Rock Band, and then this. And then what's Trevor going to do next? Who knows?
I just wanted to change up the uploading schedule because I think we put up 6 parts of Sonic Adventure in a row. Just because we delayed the Rock Band 2 finale.
No, I get it. That's why I like doing
wow, that dream brought back
Let's Tries once in a while, but usually
so much to Sonic.
Let's Tries are hard to do when Trevor has a full game and I have a full game.
Yeah.
Let's Tries are tough. Usually I'll just if I'm in between playing games, I'll just be like, use my time for Let's Tries.
Next week we might, because Spencer's doing Sonic Frontier, but I have some ideas for games, but I'm not sure what I want to commit to yet.
Right. The tornado's not powerful.
I have a feeling that T260 is only going to be 3 parts, maybe.
Yeah, most of the Saga Frontier parts, because all the grinding's off screen, because we've already seen it.
Yeah.
You understand that you go to Yorkland and just fight enemies for 5 hours.
I like how that's...
I better find one.
I just kind of found that without any guides back in the day or anything like that, just grinding in Yorkland.
It's just
and I think that's generally considered the best. Some people go to Kurong, but I don't quite understand that.
I go to Kurong for the very, very end of the game. When Yorkland is just spawning Krakens, then I'll go to, the lab.
That's Shrike.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Shrike.
No, people go to, the back things of Kurong, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Wait.
I've definitely seen that. I think,
Did I go to the wrong place? I thought I go to the, whatever.
I think one of the,
Oh, we're gonna have to watch the cutscene again. I wasn't thinking.
No! I think one of the, speedrun events recently had Saga Frontier. I don't know if it was GDQ or what, but I heard rumbles about that. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Saga Frontier speedrun is, for all different quests, are very fun to watch. Although, so I feel, and tell me if you agree or disagree with this, Trav, especially since we're probably gonna, yeah, it's fine, since we're watching this cutscene again anyway. There are some speedrun games that are just... You don't have to know anything about the game, and it's, super fun to watch. And there's others where you really need to know the game intricately to, appreciate it. An example for me, Symphony of the Night is a really fun speedrun to watch. I know Symphony of the Night, but I don't know, this weapon does this item does this. I could play through it and beat it with time. But I feel like that's a speedrun. You don't have to be I know intricately what's going on. Whereas Saga Frontier, stuff goes so fast, and you're skipping so much that you really, to appreciate it, have to know the game.
Yeah, Saga Frontier is all about a game that... I don't even know if either of us would like Saga Frontier. We didn't get it as, young kids. Because it's a game that really drops you in there with no guidance at all. And I have a feeling that if I was born a little bit later, and I was given Romancing Saga from PS2 as a kid, I'd probably love that game. But because I played it as a teenager, it's just
Wow, that dream
this involves
brought back
learning a bunch of
memories.
stuff that's not explained at all.
I really want to
So
play,
much to Sonic.
the next game on my list to personally play. Right now I'm personally playing FF9, which is not a game I would ever let's play. because I find myself using the ×3 speed option really often.
I'm also playing FF9 just because Spencer's doing it, and I haven't played the game forever. And I originally started playing it on PS2, like, just playing it, like, on original hardware, basically. But I could not stand it. The load times and the animations are so slow that I bought the Switch version, which, luckily, at the time was 50% off. Good timing on my part.
Yeah, the only reason I got it is it was on the Steam sale, and I think it was $5.
Yeah.
It might have been like 7 or 8, but and the Steam version's pretty good. The fact that it has the quality of life of having the ×3 speed multiplier, like, really helps. I'm not gonna lie. Like, could I play it on the original? Absolutely, but do I want to? Especially since I soft locked myself in that game. For those of you familiar with the game, there's a part where you go back to Alexandria Castle. And Dagger's there, / Princess Garnet. And, she's being held in the dungeon, and they're trying to get the, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Idoloins?
I'm not sure.
Idoloins? Whatever.
I swear I go...
The summons out of her.
Okay, just works this time.
Wow,
you fight Zorn and Thorn, the two little, court jester guys.
Yep.
And then you immediately have to go and fight Beatrix. And since you don't have Garnet, and Aiko's not a character at the time, I had no potions, and no Phoenix Downs, and I only had Freya alive. So it was literally impossible for me to beat it. So I had to... So I got lucky. I had a save file that I accidentally saved on a different, like, part of the save file. Like, a quarter through the game, so I was able to go from there.
That sucks.
But that ×3 was super helpful for that, because I was just like, mash.
Yeah. So this is, exclusive to Tales for some reason. I guess there's some missions about being like, go through as many of these gates as possible, but there's no bearing here. Anyway, for the Beatrice fights, they're all just scripted. You can just guard the entire time. You don't have to do damage to her.
I know, but she killed me too fast.
Yes. If she does shock, she just pretty much instantly kills anybody.
Yeah.
And of course she has, because you have Zidane the entire game, every single boss has 3 stealable items. And it's usually like, super common, easy to steal thing, medium good, intermediate difficulty, and then the good item is like, even with Thievery, the skill on, is like, seriously, like, less than a 5% chance. So, at a point I was just like, I don't care anymore, because I kept resetting for bosses, and I was like, I just don't care, this is not fun.
So overall, I'm enjoying the game again. I think if you would have asked me a couple years ago, I would have said, I don't know if I prefer 8 or 9, but now I can definitely tell you I prefer 8. 9 is, for me, the weakest of the 3, but it's still a very good game. It's still like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the story. When, spoilers for a 20-year-old game, when Queen Bran is killed, I feel like the winds go out of the sail, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, Kuja's, like, obviously the ultimate bad guy and whatever, but, like, having Queen Bran and Kuja is really cool, and having just Kuja, you're like, okay. And then I was just reminded yesterday, because I'm somewhere on disc 3. Obviously, I'm playing the Steam version, so there aren't discs. Where Garland randomly appears, and I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I haven't got there yet. I think I...
But you remember, obviously.
No, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. But yeah, they do the same thing as FF8, kind of. I mean, Ultimecia is mentioned like halfway through the game, and then you meet her at the very end. Which obviously I don't like that. I'm not saying it's a good thing in FF8, but they kind of do the same thing again in 9. And I also, Kuja to me just feels like...
Hello there, friend. How are you?
He's definitely a combination of Sephiroth and Kefka.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, the not coolest parts of Sephiroth and Kefka.
And his theme is just like almost a direct rip of like the President Shinra theme.
That's fine. I mean, the music's awesome. I feel like the gameplay is a little antiquated even compared to 7 and 8.
It definitely feels more like classic, like if FF9 was released after 5, it'd feel a lot more appropriate.
Yeah.
But even 6 streamlined a lot of things.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna do some side quests. I'm definitely gonna defeat Ozma, which I heard is a ridiculously difficult battle. Especially since I have the ×3 time functionality, and I can just like grind it, whatever. I'm fine with it. I'm not gonna do any card quest stuff because I really tried. Really tried.
The big problem with like the Ozma, the fight is annoying, but it's just unlocking it. You have to do a bunch of like Moogle stuff. Sucks.
I'm probably still gonna do it. I have not used a guide at all yet. Once I get to the end of the game proper and just start doing side quest stuff, then I'm gonna use a guide.
I'd say the only thing that you can miss, like, early on that kind of sucks without a guide is the blood sword for Steiner. But Steiner's, like, out of your party for so long that it doesn't matter that much anyway.
Oh yeah, that's my other major complaint about the game, is your party is split up for literally probably 30% of the game.
You don't have, like, easy access to party change until Disc 3 and when you get the airship.
Yeah.
Like, before then, it's like, they give you, like, a couple times when you can change your party, but it's not an available option all the time.
Yeah, when you get the not the airship right now, I have the one, the Hildegard one, the one where it's kind of like an actual ship. Regent Sid was like, hey, talk to me if you want to change the party members, and I'm like, I'm 23 hours through the game. And granted, some of that is like me leaving the game on while I do stuff, but I'm literally 20 hours into the game.
RIP Excalibur 2.
Yeah, right? No chance. No chance.
I forget that. I think it's like under 20 hours.
No, I think it's under 10 hours.
It doesn't seem possible in original hardware. I don't know, though.
But, yeah. What was I gonna say? The fact that I was like, oh, I really like having this Vivi and Steiner combination. It was awesome earlier in the game. And then for, like, literally 7 or 8 hours, you can't use that combination because they're completely separated. And Steiner was my strongest character, and I couldn't use him for, like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours? I was like, okay. I like it that you're able... It means you have to use all your characters,
yeah.
But it also meant that, like, Zidane and his party were level, like, 20, and then when I went back to Steiner and his party, they were, like, 10. And I was like, oh, okay.
And also you get parties of, like, Zidane, Aiko, Garnet, and Vivi, and it's like, this sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I've been told that Quina is a character I should use, but I just don't care. So, probably my final party is going to be this. Zidane, Steiner, Freya, and Aiko. Right now I'm using Aiko because, I don't know if you remember, Trev, but there's a time where Dagger loses her voice. And she does this thing, and it's happening right now in the game.
Can you not spoil me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just don't remember anything.
Okay. But anyway, you can use her, but it's not good. So I'm using Aiko.
Like, I'm surprised at how little I remember about FF9.
Trust me, what I said is not a big revelation. It's pretty stupid.
Yeah, obviously I'm not mad at anything,
but yeah, overall, that is pretty annoying to have it split up like that, especially when you, like, one of the big things about those games is, like, make the party the way you want it.
So I just got back to Alexandria, and Garnet's about to be queen. Is that Disc 2?
I think it's either the end of Disc 2 or the start of Disc 3.
Oh, okay, so I'm not...
From what I remember, Disc 2 starts... Do you remember when you first fight Beatrix at the rainy place?
Yeah.
I think that's the end of Disc 1.
Okay. It makes sense. There's so many FMVs, and also, like, animated background places, too, so... Yeah. It seems like discs are not much content.
I think, unlike other FF games, I feel like this one splits 1, 2, 3, and 4 pretty well, whereas... in FF7, Disc 3 has very little gameplay to it, and in...
Literally 60% of the game's Disc 1.
Yeah. And in FF8...
50% of the game's Disc 3.
The only thing you do in Disc 4 is Ultimicia's Castle, because it has a literally 30 to 40 minute FMV at the end. I feel like this one splits it up pretty good.
And Disc 1's pretty short because you have all those front-loaded FMVs, and switches to Disc 2, I think, when Squall gets the ice shard to his chest.
I believe that is the case.
And you wake up in the prison.
So yeah, this one at least does a good job. I feel like I'm on disc 3 right now, but I might be on disc 4. I don't super know. I feel like they'll give me a point of no return where I'm like, okay, now I'm going to do all my side quests. But no matter how far I am into the game, I'm still only level, like, 30 or something. And that's... I've been grinding a little bit now, too. So I'm like, man, I guess this is just not one of those games you get to level 99, like, easily at all.
Do you have the level up ability unlocked?
I do on most.
Okay. But that helps a bit.
Yeah, I have level up and ability up. What I do is, it's probably to my detriment, but I don't change armor, even if I get a better armor, until I learn the thing the first armor
Yeah,
has.
you just kind of have to do it, unless it's like something that really doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm still trying to learn them all. Like, even if it's something stupid like, Man-Eater or something like that, I'm like, yeah, it's only like 10 AP, whatever.
Even Man-Eater. The problem with those very specific, like, enemy class ones is that you really need to, like, know what's coming up. So they're really good abilities for, like, people that have replayed the game a bunch. But it's pretty bad if you're just going in blind. Because having all of them equipped just takes up all your AP.
Yeah. Either that or you save and you see a boss and you're like, oh, it's a demon.
Yeah. Wait,
you did the tree part, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that boss,
the queen
is so
just
cool.
died, and
okay.
Zydane's brooding right now.
Based. I love that boss. The tree at the bottom of the tree.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I fought it 3 times and I kept dying because it was really hard. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's undead, and I just used a Phoenix. I used life on it.
Yeah.
And it just killed it instantly, and I was like, sorry, game.
Even the zombie dragon previously, you can do that.
Yeah, that's something they generally, I don't do that often. The other one that I always do it on is when I play FF8 and you, face the fake president in the train. I always use a Phoenix Down on that, because that is a hard boss for early in the game.
Yeah, that's probably one of the highest difficulty jumps in the game. There's also another zombie boss where, I forget exactly what it is. But you fight it in that, like, one dead-looking area.
Yeah. I don't oftentimes like to do that, but once I died 3 times to a boss, I was like, okay. And I can just literally use life on it. I'm like, okay, well, I have a lot more of this game to play, so GG. Also, you couldn't save right before it, so you had to do like 10-15 minutes of gameplay before it, or before you fought it, and I was like, no. Tails! Wah! Not a bad landing, considering you don't have landing gear or anything.
Like, essentially didn't matter.
Wow, this thing is really huge.
What does that thing around Tails' neck do again?
Oh, it lets him do his tail attack, like, forever. You can just hold down the attack button and it'll spin around.
Let's get busy.
Can't wait for you to fight Chaos 6 again.
There you go.
Yay! I mean, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty good against the final boss.
Which is right now? Oh, no.
No. Tails has 5 stages and we only did 3 so far, I think.
So, what is it called? Skybridge?
How about I give you a little sample?
And then what?
And then, well, you'll see. I don't want to spoil this epic plot.
True.
This must be the way through the sky deck. It's called the sky deck.
Sky. I think Trev said this a couple weeks ago. I love that face. But it's really weird how, in a span of like 10-15 years, I mean, this game came out obviously more than 15 years ago, that we went from the point where FMVs were like so much better than gameplay in terms of graphics, and nowadays FMVs are like worse than in-game graphics.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 also has FMV versus in-game graphics, and the contrast is so obvious now. Like, they do some, like, in-game graphics that are, like, phenomenal. And then they do FMV for random stuff, and it's just like, this looks way worse now.
Do you think it'd be easier for them to just not do FMVs anymore?
The problem is that real-time rendering, you have to, like... FMVs, you can really cheat through a lot of stuff, because it's just, like, pixels on a screen. It's basically just a movie. But, for real-time, they have to, like, render everything.
Yeah, true. FF7 Rebirth didn't get a date yet, did it?
It has a generic date of, like, Q1 2024.
Better than expected. I mean, obviously, if it comes out. Let's see this rubber banding. Did you finish FF16 then?
No, I probably, like, 80% through, but I should really finish that. Because I should also return the copy to the school.
That's why I obviously
Can I just fly over there?
I obviously like RPGs, especially older RPGs. But that's why I like that
Oh, I can't.
not bad though. That's why I like that my favorite genre is horror, and horror games are generally not long, so I can play, like, you know, a bunch. And not have to be, like... Even in FF9, I'm, like, 20-something hours in, and, like, I still have a fair share of story stuff, I'm sure. And then I have all, like, the side quest stuff I want to do. Like, it's good. It's good that it's, like, lasting that long, but, like, I could have played the entire Silent Hill franchise, you know, in that amount of time. So when people are like, yeah, I love RPGs, it's all I play, I'm like, literally how?
Kinda me, but it's also because I have infinite free time.
What about people who are, like, super hardcore about old school RPGs, like NES and, like, early SNES ones? Like Final Fantasy 1, where literally every 3 steps you get into a fight.
Yeah, and that game you have to grind so much because the gold that you need to buy equipment is so high. A lot of people play, like, a fully, like, black or a black belt team, like 3 black belts and a white mage, just so you don't have to buy crap for people all the time.
Makes sense.
Like, soldiers are good, but they are so expensive.
I mean, obviously back then it was, like, literally the only game you had, or one of the only games you had. But now that there's so many choices, you really have to determine, like, do I want to put 30 hours into this random NES RPG? And my answer is no. Except for maybe something like Crystallis, but that's not really an RPG. I would play that, though.
Yeah, a lot of the series that I've been binging recently are, like, games that I really appreciate the gameplay, like Shin Megami games, like I did Nocturne, and I'm about to play Digital Double Saga. I played some of the other ones, but those are, like, peak JRPG gameplay to me. And then I played through, like, Breath of Fire 2 through 4, and those are also, like, really fun in their own way. They're pretty simple, but I really like them.
What's the best Breath of Fire game?
I probably like 3 the best. I guess the traditional answer would be 4, but I felt like 4 was, like, 10 hours too short. It really felt like a game that, like, I beat it, I think, sub 20 hours. And I know that does sound, like, kind of long, but, like...
For a JRPG on the PS1... Wait, that's not Square, is it?
That's Capcom.
Capcom. Yeah, for a Capcom RPG...
The problem with Breath of Fire 4, I guess for anyone that wants to play this game, just skip 5 minutes ahead, or 2 minutes ahead. I'm not going to talk about that long. But the main gimmick of that game is that there's 2 dragons. The blue-haired kid that's the protagonist of every Breath of Fire game is always Ryu. But then there's a second counterpart dragon. His name is something Chinese, like Fei Shuang or something. But they basically make it very apparent, like 1 hour in, that they're the same dragon, split into 2. And Fei Shuang was in the world like 1,000 years before Ryu. So Ryu's like a very fledgling dragon. And you kind of see the other dragons like descent into hating humans. It's like pretty believable. But it's just like, it's so obvious that the second dragon's going to be the final boss. Or there's going to be some sort of mid-turn point where they fuse and then something else happens. but they do the former. It's just, you know exactly what's going to happen. You get to the final boss, it's that dragon, you fight him, and then the game ends. So there's like no mysteries to the entire game.
Is 4 the last main entry in the series?
I guess Dragon Quarter would be the next one, but...
So Dragon Quarter, the weird PS2 one, is the last Breath of Fire game
they made Breath of Fire 6, but it was a smartphone piece of garbage.
Doesn't count,
yeah.
Doesn't exist.
Dragon Quarter was like, I really like Dragon Quarter, but it's not a good Breath of Fire game.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But yeah, I like 3. It is the most, it's a pretty traditional JRPG, but there's a lot of fun mechanics to it. And the world and the plot is really cool. There's a lot of like weirdly experimental stuff in that game, despite being a pretty traditional JRPG. There's a point where you have to cross an entire desert on foot, and they have unique mechanics throughout the entire thing, where you have to follow basically a direction based on the stars in the sky, and it depends on what happens of where the direction you go, and you have to like pay attention to your water intake, and you can't travel by day because it's too hot. If you do that, your characters will suffer, and sometimes they'll have like permanent debuffs if you like mess up too much. But if you know where you're going, and there's like some clues with like a treasure map to get like the best armor in the game, the entire desert section of Breath of Fire 3 is like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. One of the most impressive JRPG things I've ever seen. So that's why I just really like 3.
Do the stories follow since it's all the main character, or is it just a main character named Ryu?
1 through... I think 1 and 2 are connected, and 3 and 4 are definitely sort of connected. So there's a really weird thing. There's a character named Momo in Breath of Fire 3, who's one of your main party members. And she's randomly in Breath of Fire 4 as a mentor. And when you talk to her, she's like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'm finished.
I don't know where this place is. It is a very bizarre thing where it seems like it might be like an alternate like dimension or reality. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's pretty loose. But there is some connections to it. Like Breath of Fire 3 is sort of about like everything becoming desert, and there's a goddess that wants to save the remaining like life forms against this desertification. And Breath of Fire 4 also starts in like a huge desert area, so it might be the same world. In like an alternate reality, maybe, I don't know, it's kind of complicated.
Ready? Fire!
What missile?
That missile.
Where the hell did that come from?
Robotnik has infinite money, and also he's the most incompetent. It's over.
My bomb exploded?
Oh, no, it was a dog.
Boom!
I can't
Yo.
believe this. I'll go and
I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching Oppenheimer and the bomb exploded, I did clap with everyone else. But I gotta admit that after the countdown commenced and like the second the bomb exploded, I really don't think that Christopher Nolan had to add Boom, the song by P.O.D. I think that was a little overkill. I mean, people were like freaking out over it, but I could have went without it.
He is not a director of subtlety. I don't know how you can watch any of his movies and be like...
I was also completely just making that
okay.
up. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? 3, 2, 1. Boom! Here comes the boom! Ready or not, here come the boys from the south! You probably heard that song in something.
Yeah, I did.
Literally
I honestly thought you were telling the truth.
Oh my
because
god, could you imagine? That'd be so amazing!
Christopher Nolan's... I don't know how you feel about him, but I think he sucks.
I think